All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something pretty critical, why the old ways of doing cybersecurity just aren't cutting it anymore. We're going to look at what's next, what the future of defense actually looks like. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, let me start with a quick question for you. What would you do? What would your team do if 95% of your security alerts were basically garbage, a complete waste of your time? Because for a lot of folks in IT, that's not a hypothetical. It's their daily reality. That number, it represents all the so-called vulnerabilities that don't even have a known active exploit. And that one stat really is at the heart of the whole problem we're unpacking today.
So, you gotta ask, right? Where does this mess even come from? Well, it all starts with a security playbook that's, well, it's just hopelessly out of date. The very methods we've been leaning on for years, they're starting to show some really serious cracks. Think about it. The modern business environment isn't some nice, neat little castle with a moat anymore. No way. It's this massive, sprawling maze. You've got your cloud stuff over here, your main office network, all your remote workers connecting from who knows where, and then a bazillion software-as-a-service apps. This complexity, it gives attackers a massive, almost unfair advantage. I mean, they only have to find one way in. Just one. You have to defend everywhere. And for a long, long time, our first line of defense has been something called vulnerability scanning. You've probably heard of the big names, right? Tools like Nessus or Qualys. What they do is scan your whole network and then just hand you this giant list of everything that could, and I mean could, be a problem. And look, for a while, that was a pretty decent place to start. But here's the fundamental flaw with that approach. A scan like that just spits out thousands of alerts with zero, and I mean zero, critical context. It's kind of like going to the doctor, and instead of a diagnosis, they just hand you a 1,000-page medical textbook and say, good luck. It tells you everything that could possibly be wrong with you, but it tells you absolutely nothing about what is wrong, you know? Which of these vulnerabilities are actually a threat in your specific setup? And this is the important part, how can an attacker string a few of them together to get in? And the results of all this, the real-world consequence, it's that security teams aren't just managing threats anymore. They're literally drowning in a sea of digital noise. I mean, just try to put yourself in the shoes of a security analyst for a second. They get this massive report dumped on their desk, thousands of potential issues every single day. Where do you even start? It's overwhelming. And when you're that overwhelmed, the natural response is, well, paralysis. It's just too much to handle. Now, if you think that's bad, imagine you're an IT provider, like an MSP. You have to take that exact same problem and multiply it. You're dealing with dozens, maybe even hundreds of different client environments. The scale just becomes, it's almost impossible to manage effectively. It's just not humanly possible. And here is the real kicker. While your team is buried just trying to sort through all that noise, an attacker only needs to find that one thing, that single critical flaw, that one open door. That's all it takes for them to win. It's a completely unbalanced fight. So this constant, relentless noise, it creates this really dangerous cycle. Your teams get totally overwhelmed, right? We call that alert fatigue. That leads to this frantic, reactive patching. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. And what happens? Precious time and money get wasted fixing things that were never a real risk in the first place. And all that does is leave the door wide open for the real threats to just waltz right in. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. There is a way forward. The solution is really about evolving our whole approach. It's a clear 3-stage journey that takes us from all that noise to real clarity. And this journey has 3 main steps. First, you've got stage 1, simple discovery. This is just finding all the things that could be a problem. That's our old friend, the vulnerability scan. Then you mature to stage 2, automated pen testing. This is where tools don't just find issues, they actually try to exploit them to see if there's a real danger. But the final frontier, stage 3, is where it gets really interesting. That's AI-driven pen testing, where you move beyond just validating and you actually start to think like an attacker. In this final stage, the AI-driven pen testing, honestly, It's a complete game changer. This isn't just about running some fancier scripts. No, this is about applying real intelligence and context to the whole security testing process.
So, how does it actually work? Well, an AI agent doesn't just look at that scan data, it thinks with it. It starts to reason like a human attacker would. It's asking questions like, how could I use this little flaw over here? It starts connecting the dots, chaining together what might seem like minor issues into a truly devastating attack path. And it's smart. It adapts its strategy as it goes. But maybe the most crucial part, it translates all that technical jargon into plain business language so everyone, not just the techies, can understand the real risk.
And when you lay it all out like this, the difference in what these approaches can do is it's stark. I mean, look, vulnerability scanning and even automated pen testing, they're kind of stuck looking at individual problems in isolation. But the AI approach, it sees the whole chessboard. It's the only one that can chain attacks together and actually explain the risk in terms of what it means for the business. And just look at that bottom row. The value you deliver to your clients, it goes from low to medium to sky high. We're not just talking about a slightly better tool here. This is a whole new category of defense.
And look, this evolution, this isn't some nice-to-have feature for the future. It's becoming an absolute necessity right now. Why? Because we're not the only ones with these kinds of advanced tools anymore.
You have to understand this. The other side, the attackers, they are already using automation and AI. They're finding and exploiting weaknesses way faster than any human team can possibly patch them. Ransomware groups today, they operate like professional businesses. We have to fight fire with fire. There's just no other way. So ultimately, what this all represents is a huge shift. We're moving away from the old way, that reactive cycle of just scan, patch, and hope for the best, and we're moving toward a new proactive model. We're talking about an active, intelligent defense that gets ahead of threats instead of just cleaning up the mess they leave behind.
And this is more than just a tech upgrade, you know? It's a fundamental change in mindset. It's really a philosophical shift, a move away from passive awareness, which is just knowing what might be wrong, to active, intelligent defense. That's where you know your actual risk, and you can act with precision.
So, as we wrap this up, there's really only one question to leave you with. The entire threat landscape is changing at this unbelievable pace, and it's being powered by the very same technologies that are shaping our future. The organizations that are going to win, the ones that will thrive, they'll be the ones who embrace this shift, the ones who meet modern threats with modern intelligence. So the question is simple. Your attackers are evolving. Are you?